Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, YouTube. I always end up coming here lately, recently, coming on here, sitting for like a good minute, 5 minutes, whatever, before I say like anything to anyone, before I say goodnight, before I acknowledge that I'm live on YouTube, on YouTube, on YouTube. Um, Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's doing well. I actually did go live already this morning or this afternoon, and I choose to come live again right now because I feel guided to. And I don't actually have like anything put together, like any messages that are formal or anything like that. I just feel guided to come on here. And can we talk about this for a second? Okay, see, this is why I do not like makeup for myself personally. It's not that I don't like makeup in general, just for myself personally. Because makeup makes you look crazy after you wipe it out. I feel like my skin looks distorted and weird after I take makeup off, and then I go back to like feeling like my natural self. But I just took a ton of makeup off, so I don't like makeup. But I have to say, I'm happy I'm one of these people that doesn't need like a lot of prep work to come online. I always see people come online and these girls look amazing, and I'm like, God, if I had to be held to this standard, I would not be rushing online, because it would be another thing that I have to do, that I have to prepare for. So, you know, I'm glad I don't care, because when I care, I get really, into like my perfectionist thing, and I really want it to be done very well, and I want to keep improving and etc etc. But this is one place I feel like, you know what, when I'm coming every day, I really want to come with messages. I want to come with my heart. I want to come and help people who feel helpless. As I can't say that I felt completely helpless when I was actively being gang stalked. I cannot say I was completely helpless. That would be a lie. But in the beginning, I definitely was confused and going through all the emotions, I guess everybody who's a TI goes through in the beginning. I know that there are people who are... So yesterday, so here's the thing. So where am I in my TI journey? It's gonna be 2 years, I believe, maybe mid-July or closer to the end of July. It's gonna be 2 years for me. And I did not think this was gonna last that long. I thought it was gonna be like maybe 6 months and then it would be over. I thought people had made some type of mistake when it came to me. I thought it was a case of like mistaken identity, or I thought maybe somebody else owed people money and they thought it was me. I thought it was the mob. I thought everything that you could think. It was crazy, okay? It was nuts. But it's gonna be 2 years. I am not in a place where I am being crowded out in the streets anymore. Because first of all, I do not have a predictable schedule. I do not have a schedule, so I do whatever I want. I go whenever I want, wherever I want. It's a lot of guesswork when it comes to me. And it's hard to predict as it is. And so there's that. When you don't have a schedule, it is hard to be gang stalked, because, gang stalkers need a schedule for you. The other thing that doesn't happen to me as much, there was a period of excessive spell work. And when I say spell work, I mean round the clock every single day. And that started, I want to say really aggressively, maybe like December or January, something like that. It was like round the clock. It was like, if you're gonna be home, then it's gonna be round the clock spell work. If we can't access you at work or on the street. And then that round the clock spell work, that wore down because I cleaned out my space. I mean, like, I was at the point where I was cleaning out my space round the clock as well. Like, the sage never stopped burning at all. And then I had the stage of, now I'm at the stage where it's very desperate behavior and it's just lashing out, and it's just like, it's always been childish, but it's like, it's at the point now where I'm just like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. It's gone low enough. It's gone far enough. It's gone far enough. Like, I can't meet people in this energy. Like, I'm tired. It was already taking energy from me before, but like now it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like sitting at a table with someone at playing checkers, and then it's like they lost so many times, and it's like they draw you back in, or you're just forced in it because you have to be at this table. You know, that's really what it is. It's not anybody draws you back into it. It's like you have to be at this table. You can't get off the table. It's just not time yet. Let's say you're just at school and this is the class you're in. You can't get off the table. And it's like, when it starts getting to the point that people are like flipping the board and like swearing, and they're like picking up weapons and so, you're kind of just like, okay, well, then I'm not gonna play. Like, you know, and it's not something that you wanted to play. You were always like, I don't want to be a part of this, but it's kind of like you were just being forced. I know most of us kind of know the feeling I'm talking about. You feel like an adult, you feel mature, but it's like, here you are in this situation that quite frankly is bizarre. It's weird. These people are behaving very weird. They know it. They may not like hearing, you know, how you feel about them. They may not like hearing the truth, but it's like, you just never expected adults to stoop so low. And then for so little, I guess I would say, I guess it would make sense if you found out that this was something that would make a lot of money, but it really just sounds like something where people just do it kind of for like $100 every weekend or something like that. Like, it kind of sounds like that. So it's very weird. Not sure if people involved in this completely understand to what magnitude they make people suffer. I don't think they do. I think if they understood what happens to people's lives when people get gang stalked, I mean, I know that there are some people who do understand for sure, because there was this whistleblower guy that I was listening to, and he was pretty high up. Not the highest, but he's admittedly, but he was pretty high up. In fact, what's scary is that he just randomly stopped posting after the blue, and he said he was being threatened and his life was being whatever, and you know, I believe that. But he was saying that at the top, they know how bad it is. And it's almost like they bring people in and slowly like groom them to go further and further and further. So in the beginning, it's a little bit, and then it gets bad and like worse and worse and worse with what they push people to do. And it's almost like they anticipate people at a certain point are going to be like, I can't be a part of this anymore. Like, this is crazy. But it's at that point that they get stuck. It's like, no, you're a gang stalker. You're a part of this world. And it's almost like they come back and they say to them, well, look at the TI. Look at how we're beating down on this TI. You don't want to be there. You want to be over here with us. And with my gang stalking experience, I could definitely see how people would think that. They definitely have an arrogance about them, even though they are people who you can see have some insecurities, and people you can see want to fit in some way. They aspire to something. There's something that they need. There's something missing in them. They are fighting for a success, a stature in life, an importance. And it's almost like being a gang stalker kind of gives them a false sense of that, but it's still not there. It's not in here. It's like just pretending that it's there. But in here it's still empty. And it's kind of like the other thing with the gang stalking, it's kind of like a bait and switch thing from what I see from the outside. It's kind of like, come join us, come be with us, we're going to give this to you. But then they never get it. They never get, or maybe they have to work so long to get their turn. I remember to the person that I sold my house to, they said to me, "This is our first house. We've waited 13 years for us to get our house." And I thought to myself, if you had just worked a job and built a business and a career, you would have gotten it fair and square. You know, I don't know. I don't want to go into the specifics of that situation, but I will say this. I still feel lucky not to be on the inside. Sorry. Every day I'm not on the inside, I'm like, thank you, God. I don't mind being a TI as long as I don't have to be on the inside. It's just too much. It seems like the people on the inside suffer. It does. I've seen, by the way, this is Sage. I talk all about spiritual cleansing on my channel. So I use sage to clean the air. So you guys should definitely get some sage as well. Anyway, I see people who are on the inside, and it just seems to me that they are controlled, but they realize at some point they really need to hustle hard if they hope to have everything, because they start understanding like they can't survive like this really. And it's like, I remember saying that at one point. I was like, what is the point of being on the inside of this thing? And everybody I look at, I see the same thing. It's like, there's no prosperity here. There's no abundance. There's definitely no happiness. People are definitely not in love and living amazing lives. There's no way you can do this stuff and live an amazing life. And you know, I've been in long enough in my city where I see gang stalkers who have the menacing mask, like the mask of like, I'm gang stalking you. And then they also have the fear behind it. They're nervous, they're afraid. They also look over their shoulders. And again, I've just been in for a while. They look over their shoulders. They look uncomfortable. I tell you guys this because I want to give you a different perspective of this world, instead of you always thinking that you're on the, you know, the wrong side, or that you're on the terrifying side. I want to not make light of it, but make it understandable for you as much as possible. Let me explain something. There is this guy, I don't know how long he's been a TI and he's been going through this. He probably still is going through this, right? But he gets out there, he gets on radios, he talks about it, he does his part. And he has some of the best information that I've ever heard in regards to gang stalking, like very thorough information, okay? But the information is so daunting that after I listened to him, the first time I listened to him, I was like, I can never listen to this again. I cannot, because this is hopeless. Like, he's saying everything that we all know. He was talking about like demonic energy on people. He was talking about, what else would I say? About how terrified people, they call it the program, obviously. He's like, how terrified people in the program are, how nobody's actually really safe in there and all that stuff. And I don't know, I was just like, this is horrible. This is so tough. And I knew that everything he was saying was right, but this is the opposite of what I want to do. Because it doesn't matter if something is true or not. It doesn't matter if something is the reality or not. It doesn't matter. It's really about the feelings that something gives you. It's about how things make you feel. because it's out of your own feelings that you're gonna feel energy to move forward. If people sit there and they listen to all of this scary information every day about how awful things are and how things won't work, well, where the heck are you gonna get your hope and your motivation to like move forward? You're swimming in negativity. I think it's quite too much. I don't it's not my way. It's not the way that I want to move forward. I know it's not the way to move forward because it's too much toxicity. You need to move forward with your life. This is my message right now. We need to move forward with our lives. Enough. Okay, we gotta close some of these cycles. We gotta end this journey. We gotta learn lessons from it. We gotta just accept it from what it is for what it is. I was just listening to something earlier. It said, cut your losses. Hey, it is what it is at this point. The milk has been spilled. It's happened. Give it to God and move. Keep moving forward. And I talked about this very early on, that what people want to take from you is your hope, money to be able to invest, to move forward, your happiness, your dreams, your passions, your ambitions, who you are, everything that makes you who you are. It's like they want to evacuate you out of your life. And this is your life. And it's like, I need to keep reminding people of this. This is your life. Don't you forget it. It's your life. It's your existence. Keep it. Keep your personality. Keep your happiness. Keep your, if you had one, a childlike nature. Do not be too realistic. Nothing really blooms from being realistic. If you want to get up and you want to, aspire to be a huge singer, the number one singer in the world, let's say, that doesn't come from being realistic. That comes from being unrealistic. Do you really think Led Zeppelin knew he was going to be Led Zeppelin when he started out, when he was a kid? No, he grew into that. And if he had to listen to everyone that says you cannot do it, you don't have money for this. Listen to how people start. They'll say, I didn't even have money for this. We had to do this. We had to duct tape this and make a makeshift this. That is the beauty of creation. Starting from where you are, doing what you're doing now, but never stopping, one foot in front of the other. Keep going and not worrying about when, and having fun along the way. It's the journey, the journey. You might get there, but if the journey's horrible, it's gonna be a horrible memory. So at some point, we gotta stop talking about gang stalking in a daunting way every single day. And at some point, we gotta control the things that we can control. And sometimes that's just your vibration, your feelings. That's just what you choose to believe in. That is my overwhelming message every day lately. I've come a ways from where I was when I first started this channel in November of last year, end of November, so let's call it December, to get all the way over here to just say, I think we're tired. I'm tired. I know you guys are tired. And little things have been pointing me in this direction. I remember a couple weeks ago, I started doing my makeup and taking pictures and getting dressed again. And I started feeling like my old self. But this is also after, I have to point this out, a ton of healing, letting go of toxicity, physically clearing my space, cleansing myself, spiritually cleansing myself, developing myself in my spiritual practice, focusing on me and God and not all the other chaos around me. I started energetically just not being responsive, because it's like somebody's gonna do something and they're gonna think of the thing that's gonna bother me, right? They think of this thing, and this thing is something that is gonna bother any normal, rational person. But they're doing it to bother me. So it's like as soon as I let it bother me, it works. And so I just started overlooking things that were very much bothersome, very much valid concerns. But I'm just like, I'm just not doing this no more. I'm not. You can have that one. And no matter what it is, no matter what is not working, what is not happening, I'm just like, you can have that one. I don't, you can have it. It's okay. Let's move forward. Let's move on. Because, I'll tell you, if someone is doing something to hurt you and they're successful in it, but it doesn't hurt you, it's a hollow victory. It's kind of like taking someone's boyfriend because you feel like this person's gonna be beat up about it, and then the next time you look up, they're partying, or they have a new boyfriend, or they have a better boyfriend, a richer boyfriend, a more handsome, they got famous, they got like, it's kind of like, whoa, now you're over here with this, and they've moved on. That's how I take it. I'm just like, look, that's okay. They can have whatever it was that they wanted to do to like upset me. They can have it. That's fine. And I'm just gonna move forward. Not to say with the analogy I'm saying better this and better that, but sometimes it's like you can have nothing and just being like, bye, girl, bye. And just like, just going to sleep, sleeping peacefully. It's like, I just started not caring anymore. I can't even say that it was conscious or it took effort. I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, you have to know me to know what this face means and like this way of me saying it. I mean that. I didn't have I didn't have the energy to be upset about whatever it was, because I can't remember what was the first thing that just didn't bother me. I just didn't care. I just didn't have the energy anymore, and it was like, oh, well, whatever. And I just moved forward with my day, and it was just like, whatever. And then it just kept happening. It just kept happening that I'm just like, oh, well, we're doing something else. And that's it. That's it. And that's my direction moving forward. And it's not because, I want to be honest with you, it's not because it's so much taking effort to do it. It's the energy that this takes. Now, the other thing is I've switched focus a lot, where I used to have a lot of time to like listen to tarot readings and be online and do this and do that. I don't have that time anymore. My focus has switched. It kind of felt like a new season. It felt like a new energy. So it was like, all the energy attacks that were coming. Let me explain a little something to you guys about spell work. Spell work takes about 2 to 3 months to really start working. So if someone sends you work, and this is when people are casting intentions over your life. If people are sending actual energy to you, what you can actually clean off with sage, if they're sending that to you, that's immediate. If they're projecting at you, projecting like anger or jealousy or rage or whatever, if they do that to you, that's immediate. However, if they're casting intentions over your life, putting your picture on an altar, stuff like that, that takes about 2 months to manifest, right? So, with me, I forget what I was going with that. Oh, I was telling you guys what the process was, how I came to this. Night and day, round the clock, they're sending energy to me and I'm clearing it out. And all of this energy has to go back. Once you cleanse your space, cleanse your aura, all of that, the energy has to go back to where it came from. So what will end up happening on the other side is people are buried in their own energy. They are buried in their own energy. So they start feeling all of the things that they put out. And so I woke up one day and I was like, listen, I need to like deep clean my house. And especially because sage, sometimes it can brown things. So if you see this part of my sweater, my cardigan is kind of like a brownish sort of color. This part is not, because where this was hung up in the closet, this part was on the inside and this part was on the outside. So wherever the smoke is, it gets brown. Now, I don't remember if I've washed this since I did my deep cleaning, but I had like other clothing I just had to go ahead and wash and like bleach. I pulled out my appliances. I wiped down everything. We wiped down walls, baseboards, all of that. The whole house felt amazing. And it was like a new season came in. It was like a new dawn. And just everything in the air felt different. It wasn't me consciously waking up and saying, this is the change I want to make. It was just that this is the change that's happening. This is the energy. And I talk about that being when cycles are over, when cycles are complete, you feel it. You feel it. It's done. It's cycles are not something that any human being can keep open. If a cycle is done, it's just done. You know, it's like, who cares what happens, right? The way I was posting was changing. The things that I was praying about, the things that were coming to me during prayer were changing. Everything, there was this like huge focus on healing. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still things that as a TI you're gonna be pissed off about. So if you go back in your memory bank and you remember like people, places, and things that were disrespectful and whatever, you could find things to be upset about. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I just didn't have the energy to continue being upset all the time. And even when I would start being upset, it's like I would just hit a wall with it. It's almost like I want to say like the first 10-15 seconds into being mad at something, it's like I'm hitting a wall and then my focus changes and then I'm off. And even if it tries to pull me back, it's just me coming to a point where I'm just like, look, I gave 2 years of my life to this. Unknowingly not having a choice in the first year, it was aggressive, which I know that you guys are going through. But just pulling away from it. And I remember coming always to a point where before I come online or before I talk to people, I have to like watch videos of what TIs are talking about and jog my memory into like, well, what was it like for me? What were my feelings? People are suffering. I should talk about this. I should talk about that. And then I came to the conclusion that I was like, why don't I talk about what we should be doing, which is moving on from it? And it's like, I don't see the point of rolling in the mud anymore. I don't see the point of sticking around. And I just said to myself, so I made a video on my page. I got my makeup done. And I was just like, you know, people who have watched me online for a while, I guess there are a couple, I can never tell. Somebody commented, they're like, I called the video I'm in gang stalking recovery, because I'm in gang stalking recovery. And somebody commented and he said, it's time for me to be in gang stalking recovery too. And I was like, then just do it. It's your life. Just do it. Now, I never respond to people, but for some reason that day I decided, I was like, I'll respond to him because, you know, but that's how I looked at it. I was like, wait a minute. Why does he think he can't have recovery? He can just do it. And then I was like, why did I think I couldn't have recovery? I could have just done this. This is the thing about when you find a solution that is that simple, you're like, why did I let this go on so long? First of all, when you're an active TI, I mean, like, you got to go to work every day and these people are harassing you, or you have to be around people, you have to be out in the public. Yes, you don't have a choice. You have to find a life that is away from this harassment, in order for you to, move on from it. But when you find your little exit, you find your way to clear your peace, you find your way to like lock yourself inside of your own safe haven, your peace. why show up? Why show up for this anymore? You know, this recovery phase I'm in is, it's not difficult. Like, it's not as complicated. It doesn't require all of the things that we think it's going to, like getting money back or getting time back or getting apologies or getting family members back or getting explanations. It has nothing to do with all the things in our head and our hearts that we want to hope for, or all the things that we want to think should happen to be justice. It has nothing to do with that. It was just a decision. It was just allowing myself to go with the flow. It was just releasing. It's the difference between tensing your body up in a pool or just relaxing, letting go, and floating. I just allowed myself to just float around, as opposed to like tensing up for this, anticipating this, and responding to that. And, and I'm not even saying I was responding or I was engaging. I'm saying in my heart, in my spirit, inside of me, there was no response to it. Just done, checked out. That's the best way to describe it. I just checked out. I checked out of my gang stalking. That's it. That's all I did. And that's all you have to do. Just check out. Check out. I've been talking so much about people wanting your attention, people wanting your reactions. And I came all this way to say, check out. Just check out. You don't have to be here. They can do what they're doing. They don't have to stop that. But like, why do you have to be participating in it? You don't have to participate. You don't have to give your attention. You don't have to give your time. You don't have to give your noticing. Now, this started happening with me, I realize now, for a little bit from before. And I'll tell you why. Because I started advising people to like look away when gang stalkers are on the street. That's what I was doing. I knew people on the street were gang stalkers because they position themselves for you to notice them, right? So they park right here and they're staring at you in the car and they're doing this and they're doing that, and I do not care. And I'm taking my time and I'm going down the street one store at a time, and I'm buying flowers here and I'm buying, a tea here, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm taking my time and I'm having a day, because this is what I came out to do, is for me to have a day to myself. And whether or not they're there, I'm gonna have my day. And sometimes, like, I remember one day, this is how long this has been going on. I came out and they anticipated where I was, and they were there and they were sitting. They have this thing they do where they'll get on FaceTime and they'll do the camera like this to make me feel like they're recording me and whatever. And I remember a shopkeeper took me to the front window where this person was sitting on a bench doing the same thing, being menacing. And I remember taking like a longer than normal time to take my time in the window, talk to her, ask her all the questions I needed. Because I was like, so what? Like, how long are we going to do this stupid? It's like, to what end? Taking a video, but to what end? You just have to get to a point with it where you're just like, this is going to happen tomorrow again. So let's get on with it. Like, it's just like, if it's gonna happen, let it be a hollow victory. Let it be. I was watching this, was it a meme? I don't know what people call it. This funny video online, and this guy was like, it was like when you're in a scary movie and they want to kill you but you're dead inside, and so they're like, oh, you're gonna pass away in 7 days, and he's like, can you fit me in today? And they're like, what? He's like, no, I'm ready to go. And it's like you switch it up almost, in a sense, where it's just like, wait a minute. It's almost like you start enjoying it, or you just don't care or whatever, and it doesn't have the intended effect. And you are still where you're supposed to be vibrationally, which is vibing high, which is keeping your peace. Am I gonna trade peace to give a reaction? No. That's how I see it. I have my peace and I'm hoarding it, and somebody wants to trade me peace for chaos, trade me peace for reactions, trade me peace for fighting, trade me peace for childishness, which I would have never participated in on a normal day. I'm like, no, I like my peace. I'm going to keep my peace. I don't want to be involved. That's just where I sit with it. And, you know, from the minute I started practicing this, I just feel light. I feel good. I feel hopeful. I feel normal every day that I wake up. I have good sleep. I feel relaxed. I'm living life at my pace. I'm trusting in God that things are going to work. I'm putting good energy out behind it. You know, asking God for this or that, but then putting the energy behind it as well to say, I'm giving you supportive energy. Like, I'm believing that you will do this, that this can happen. I started with being hopeful about gang stalking ending from like day one. Not just hopeful, but really believing that it would. I'm like, there's no way that this is gonna last forever. And not only is there no way it's gonna last forever, but I'm not gonna stay here forever. So I was like, it's either gonna stop or I'm gonna leave. And I don't mean leave the country. I don't mean leave my city. I mean leave gang stalking. But that's the type of person I am. This type of mentality that I have. I'll stick it through. I'll see how it goes because God wants me here. It's happening because God wants you to go through it. But then if it's not working, we're going to have another conversation and be like, hey, can we leave? Because it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. That's it. That's all. It doesn't feel good. I don't want to do things that don't feel good. Like, that's the type of person I am. That's how my brain works. I just don't want to do things that don't feel good. I don't care what it comes with. I've learned this lesson not even just once in my life, where it's like, it's almost like dating somebody that everybody wants, but this person is demonic and they're clingy and they're crazy and they steal all your peace and all your light. And what? Do people even know? No, gotta go. That's it. It's like, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. That's all it boils down to. So for me, I just feel like it doesn't feel good. I checked out mentally. It's like quiet quitting. I didn't announce it. I didn't say I was leaving. I didn't make this whole thing about it, like watch when I go. No, I just checked out. I just did not have the energy for it. And I've never been divorced, but if there's anybody here who's been divorced before, I'm sure that's what it feels like. I'm sure people who want a divorce just like wake up one day and they're like, this is not how I'm living the rest of my life. Like, I can't see myself continuing on like this. So that's just all it is. I hope you guys consider it too. It is fabulous over here, let me tell you. And it's not because the weapons don't form. It's because I am no longer energetically there. My energetic body is not in this thing at all. My physical body might be here, but energetically, I am gone. I am gone. I mean, I'll wake up in the morning to like an email or like a Google review that somebody left of my business that's like made up. And then it's like, I'll just close it and go back to sleep. Because I'm like asking myself, can I do anything about this? Sure. But everything I would do about it, respond to it, it would just take up more energy and it would take away my focus from what I actually do want to do with the day. Or I go somewhere and they're out and about and they're there and they want to prove to me that they're there. Listen, let me tell you how good it is when you check out, okay? I went to the mall and there were gang stalkers everywhere. I mean, they were coming in and out of the stores. They were coming in. I don't know if this has ever happened to someone, that you talk to someone and that person is nice to you and they're normal, and someone comes in and signals to them that you're a TI, and then they flip on you like right away. They go all from being genuine and nice and then they flip out and they're gaslighting all of a sudden. It's like that. That happened. I felt nothing. I still very graciously said goodbye. Have a great day. I went somewhere else. It was like the same thing again. I was like, okay, well, you know, have a great day. I went somewhere and I could totally see that I was being targeted. And it was like, I just still had my questions, because I did have questions. And I wanted to find out what I wanted to find out. And it was like the hyperfixation and the whatever weird behavior. But it was like, okay, have a great day again. And it was just like, I just strolled by and did what I was supposed to do. I was only supposed to be in there to buy one or two things, and I ended up staying in there way longer, like to the point that my day got delayed. Staying in there so long, just having the kind of day that I would have had in the past before this started, the kind of day where I would just browse in the mall, talk to people, ask them about their day, make friends. Now, I'm not saying I made friends. I'm not saying I took anybody's number, but I was like, I saw them. I consciously knew that they were gang stalkers, but I didn't feel the feeling of being gang stalked anymore. I could see what they were trying to do, but the aura of gang stalking is no longer there. Now, that could be because I've cleansed my energy so much that possibly all that spell work, because I always say gang stalking does not work without the spell work. They need the spell work to put anxiety, they need the spell work to put depression, they need the spell work to put everything else. But when you clear your energy of all of that, you can't experience the gang stalking. You just see people running around and just like in a frenzy around you. Okay, let me explain it this way. You're being targeted and you're being gang stalked in public. The only person who feels gang stalked is you, because the spell works on you. If you are out and about with family or friends, they don't feel gang stalked. They don't see any of this because the spell works not on them. If you say to them, isn't that person behaving weirdly? They'll be like, yeah, and then they'll move on with it, because to them it's just a coincidence. You have the spell work on you. That is why you feel gang stalked. When you clean off all the spell work, you return to yourself like everybody else, where you just think weird people are weird people, and you just think it's a coincidence, and you do not believe that it's not like you don't believe it's gang stalking. You've been in gang stalking, so you know it's real. But could it be that's why the police don't take it seriously? It feels like life or death to you because you're under spell work, but the police are not under that anxiety, that depression, that stress. They're not in the cycle. So they don't take the report seriously, because they're like, what are you talking about? I remember this officer said to me, they're like, yeah, we had this other person come in that was telling us this, but like we can't connect the dots. We can't see, like it doesn't make sense. First of all, that's because they don't have eyewitnesses. They don't have like an actual person gang stalking there as a witness saying, yeah, it's real. I did it. I know people who do it. I can tell you who they are. That's because of that. But I mean, people who don't have the spell work on them don't know what you're talking about. So I got to a point where as soon as I realized that this is working because of spell work, I was like, I gotta clean myself off. I gotta cleanse myself. That's why I come here and I made so many videos about how to cleanse yourself. There are many forms of cleansing. I do all of them very regularly, whether or not I need to. I do it all the time. I do it so often, just in case. It's like saging my house. Saging my house is such a routine. It doesn't matter if I feel the energy is heavy or not. I just cleanse the space because it's a good practice. It's like taking a shower. You end up doing it twice a day regardless, right? Well, some people once a day, some people not every day, but regardless, I implore you to begin spiritually cleansing yourself. You're going to see the world in a different way. Now, when people gang stalk me, I see them as nervous. I see them as forcing themselves to do it. I see them as not wanting to participate in this. I see that, like, I just see different things. I don't feel as much. It doesn't feel menacing. It doesn't feel like an emergency. It just feels like I'm walking into my house. It just feels like it's like not a fight. And when I first started energetically checking out, they could feel it. And they would go out of their way, like try to, out of their way, make people walk in front of the front door, make people follow me to my front, like going the extra mile. You got to understand, when someone doesn't have energy, they don't have the energy. They just don't have it to give. It's like someone who's lethargic. Where are they going to find this energy to give you? They look like lifeless. That's all it really comes down to. It's like, I don't have it. If I had to consciously do it, it'd be difficult. It would require effort to consciously say, I'm not going to react. The times where it is conscious to not react are way fewer than the times where it's like, I'm not trading peace for this. I don't care. They could do whatever they want. So this is where I'm at with it. It's a beautiful place to be. I promise you. I invite everybody to join me here. Stop. Okay, how do you do this? First of all, stop talking about it. Like, as far as, you know, this is what my channel is about. So I come here and I talk about my journey and I talk about like how to walk away and like stuff like that. But do I sit here anymore? I've already done all the videos extrapolating like what you should do and what you can do and all. I've done all of it. What it's like being gang stalked in detail, all of it. I've done all of it. But I don't need to do that anymore. You know, if I feel pushed to do it for whatever reason, I will. But go through the channel and find them. I don't think there's any need to recreate the content. It's like, first of all, I stopped talking about it in the way that I used to talk about it before. Then I stopped fighting. So anyone new to my channel, I know who the chief gang stalker is in my situation, full name and everything. And don't want to fight with, like, not fighting this anymore, not doing this, not engaging, not, it's like, it's too childish. It's been too childish for a while, but it's like, it's too much. It's really too much. Very annoying, you know, too much. So there's that. Once you stop talking about it, it drifts from your awareness. And then the next thing that it just kind of happened on its own is I stopped watching videos about it as much. I try to check in every once in a while, and sometimes I hang in there in some videos and I'm like, maybe there's something new for me to learn, but it's all the same thing. And I'm like, I don't want to watch it anymore. So I stopped watching things like that as much, started watching other things. I go on social media now and I'm like, I've missed so much. People's kids have grown. They're way older. Like, the last time I saw this kid was a baby. Now this kid's like in a little suit. What the hell's going on? Like, literally, the kid was a baby and now the kid's 2, I guess. But it's like, and this person's pregnant again, and this is happening. And what? This has really taken a lot of my time. I don't want to live like this. I just don't want to do it anymore. So just like not doing it. And I know it's easier said than done. It takes practice. Everything takes practice. Having patience takes practice. Not engaging in nonsense takes practice. Not being pissed off all the time takes practice. I'm not saying to you that it's going to be hard or not hard. I'm saying it's going to take practice. That's it. You got to think about it like working out at the gym. You don't want to even go the first couple times. Then you get used to just showing up. When I start working out, all I tell myself is I just got to show up. That's all I got to do. Show up and do the 1 hour. The 1 hour that feels like 5 hours. And then after it becomes a habit, and then before you know it, you love it. And then when you start seeing the results of it, you're like, oh, absolutely, I got to go to the gym. And that's just how it is. I'm seeing the results, and you can't get me out of this gym at all. You cannot convince me to go back to like being upset about things that are not little things. Now, let me tell you, there are big things that I can talk about that have happened. There are a lot of things that have happened since I've started doing this. It's not like nothing's happened. It's not like there's nothing there to be pissed off about. There's things to be pissed off about here. Injustices that continue. It's just I don't have the energy. And I'm tired of talking about it. And if I keep talking about it, it's gonna be my life. This is not my life. It's somebody else's version of what my life is should be or whatever. No, no. It's time to go home. That's it. I did my time. It's time to go home. The other thing that dawned on me, because I've been a TI once, and I feel like, you know, they say something about like when you're a TI, you're always a TI, whatever. I definitely feel like people are, once you're a TI, especially if you're a TI who escapes, who breaks out, who figures it out, I feel like anybody who was a gang stalker or anybody who invested in your gang stalking, I feel like when those people see you out in public, they're gonna throw a little jab in some way or the other. They're gonna try to trip you up. They're gonna do things. But so I'm not leaving my city. I'm not leaving my life. I'm not leaving anything. You know, I know I'm gonna get the comments. I know, so in that sense, it's like I know there's gonna be nonsense. I know there's gonna be all kinds of things that are gonna happen moving forward. And my story is not yet over. So there is going to be more things that are gonna happen. I can pace myself. I do not need to have everything happen to me all at once. I can take my time on the things that are coming, okay? I'd like to pace myself. I'd like to enjoy whatever time I have before the next traumatic life cycle shows up unannounced with, I'm not gonna say no preparation. I'm gonna have preparation because I've been gang stalked before. But you know how life trials get harder as you get older? Why did gang stalking come so early? It means that there are other things that gang stalking was preparing me for in the future. My goodness, the statement alone just made me tired. See, this is what I mean when I say I don't react. I don't have the energy. Because I just said that statement, I feel winded. Like, what? Like, here we go again. That's just how I feel. I feel like here we go again. It's not like there's a lot of energy here. It's like it's going to take energy to get off the bed to deal with this, is how I feel. I don't know. I just hope everybody gets to the point where they're drained. Don't let it continue to be a drama that continues to play out. Don't let it take excitement from you. Try to find your moments, steal your moments, and then prolong them. The first time I didn't react, it's like I just kept it on as a streak. It was almost like a winning streak. It's like, oh, today was a great day. I went outside, and whether or not they gang stalked me, whatever happened, I couldn't care. And it just kept going and going and going and going, and now I'm here. I can't tell you how long I've been here. Maybe a couple weeks. Whenever my content changed, I think people who listen to my content often can see that there's been an evolution to the content. There's been an evolution from day one. The content I make doesn't necessarily come from me, so it just has a life of its own. It's like whatever I feel on my heart to talk about, that's what comes out. So this has just kept going, and it's kept evolving. I'm very happy with the direction that it's going finally. And who would have thought? It's not the situation that has to change, it's you that has to change. It's literally you that has to change. You have to just decide. You have to just say. Forgive my crazy lady hair. It's actually not crazy lady hair. It's not even afro. This is just how my hair grows out of my head. And this is the way my hair wants to be, so I just let it. Why fight my hair? Just let it do what it's gonna do. Can you imagine this hair voluntarily doing anything else? It just wants to sit up like this. So I let it. I feel so free with this like newfound just acceptance of how things are gonna be, because fighting life is exhausting and life is stronger than me. And this is gonna keep going if I continue doing it. It's never gonna stop. Listen, let me tell you something. There is this movie, and I don't remember who's in the movie, but the cover for the DVD is it a DVD or VHS, whatever. It's an old movie. The cover for it is the actor in a door that's being slammed shut with an axe in the hand, like he's trying to get in. That's how gang stalkers are. No matter what happens, they're gonna keep going because they're paid. They're being paid. Why would I stop something I'm being paid for? So because of that, you have to check out. I don't know if people think that there's another way. Maybe there's another way, but what if it's taking too long? You just gotta like check out of it. Walk away. Walk away. Leave it alone. It's gonna be never ending. And as soon as you find a way where you can close all the doors. Now, if you feel that your gang stalking is too all encompassing, if you feel that your gang stalking is too aggressive, if you feel like the access to you is too much, then you're gonna have to close the doors. You're gonna have to decide what you can change from what you can't change. You're gonna have to make a couple decisions, etc., etc. But I never think that anything is too anything. I just think that it'll just maybe take a little bit more practice when it's super aggressive than when it's not. And I think you have to think about, if you're, let's say, in a workplace where people are harassing you, you kind of have to think about how kids in school feel when they're being bullied, or how, you know, kids in high school feel when they're being targeted by other kids. They're stuck. They're stuck in that school. They have to learn to deal with it. They have to learn to manage themselves. That's kind of like what you are. And those poor kids cannot, I mean, they could switch schools or whatever, but it's probably good for them to stay there and learn a little bit, like how to deal with it. Not because you want to subject them to bullying, but it's a good life skill to have, to build boundaries, to stand up for yourself, to know how to handle yourself. And people are going to gang stalk you, but there should be certain places that they don't want to go because they know that there are consequences. And with me, I've established my firm boundaries. There are things that if people do to me, for sure is going to get a reaction, and it's going to be not a threatening reaction. It's going to be an actual reaction. It's going to be like an actual reaction to somebody really crossing a boundary, because if you don't do anything, they're going to cross the boundaries. They're going to be bad. It's like they practically want to get to the point where they want to like physically beat down on you. If you continue to do nothing, it's going to get that bad. So for me, I'm just not, I set my boundaries where they are. And then the stuff that I can't control, like, come on, please, like, let it be. You know, I can't control what people say about me. I can't control how people think about me. I can't control if people don't like me. I can't control, you know, all of this stuff. And it's not unique to me. I think we all have people who don't like us. Nobody's 100% liked or 100% respected or 100% whatever, but it's like we still move on, right? Like, you don't pay attention to it, you don't play into it. It's like the same thing. So I just accept that there's a chief gang stalker out there that is never gonna like me, just hates me. And I'm okay with it. I wanna move on. That's it. Are they gonna constantly be in the background, like, you know, doing something? Yeah, but what else is like what else is new, to be honest with you? That's really what it comes down to. Like, what else is new, you know? That is all it is. I went live earlier today, and then I felt the need to come live again, and I just kind of feel like maybe there was someone that needed to hear this. Once you are depleted in your body and you are tired and you want out and you hate this, check out, like a divorce. Check out. That's it. Check out. I could imagine if I were living with a partner that I did not want to, and I think living with a partner is worse in a sense, because now you can't even escape this person. Like, they may actually sleep in your bed. So it's like, if I'm in a situation like that and it's like I don't have money to leave or whatever, just check out. And it's not like, when you're really tired of it, because some people, they say they're tired of it, but like, I mean, when you're really tired of it and it's almost like you feel lifeless inside, like you just feel like numb, you're just gonna walk through a sea of gang stalkers and just like, what? I started that very early on. There's this park that I walk through and they're always there. And it started with me petting their dogs. And I realized, like, they have some cute dogs. I'm sorry. Like, people who are going to the dog park and, like, I'm like, the dog is cute. My thought literally was like, I could tell it was awkward for them too, because it's like, this is not supposed to happen. Like, people are used to TIs being very afraid and paranoid and like jumpy and all that. But the dog was cute and he was uncomfortable and he was looking at the other like gang stalkers in the park. And I turned and it's like they're making eye contact with each other, like, what the hell? Like, they did not plan for that. And I seen him another time again. He was there with the dog. So I'm gonna say hi to the dog again. And there was another one, her baby was looking at me, her toddler was looking at me, and I was like, she's cute. So I stooped to say hi. And again, it was like this weird reaction where they kind of like freeze and they're like looking around like, what the hell is going on right now? And then that's when I was like, gang stalker person, gang stalker person, gang stalker person, same shit. Same thing. A gang stalker is a person. A person is a gang stalker. There's no criteria for doing this. You need a heartbeat, you need a pulse and legs and a consciousness. That's it. They don't care. They will bring anybody on board. You could have been a TI and they'll hire you as a gang stalker. I mean, this is not, for these people, they don't see it the way that you see it. You're a victim, they don't see it the way you see it. So it's like, even on here, the trolls used to come. One troll asked me if I would be a gang stalker. I was so insulted. But it was like it just comes to the point now. I think after those kind of things were happening, where I was like stopping and playing with people's animals and talking to their kids and all that kind of stuff, it's like I don't know if they know how to take me. The energy of the gang stalking is no longer there. I don't know. It's like they say gaslighty things and I'm just like, okay, like I don't have I can't explain it. I just don't have the energy for it. Try to please spiritually cleanse your energy, cleanse your space, take spiritual baths. Make sure you do things, you pray, you cover your head, you do all of the things that I recommend. Research more things than I recommend, because the stuff I recommend is very basic. Keep going. You know, I do not recommend getting into black magic. Do not be tempted to do it. It is a very complicated thing. I'm into spirituality, and the black magic thing is a little tough for me because I can keep an arm's length distance from people who do it. I try not to judge. I'm like, okay, spirituality, I believe in some things that are different as well. But it's like they consciously do evil things. I believe in karma a lot. And so I don't agree with the way that they're going through with things. So for me, it's a tough thing. I am judgmental about it, to be honest with you. I am. I think it just lacks like morals, and it's just not a good way to live. I wouldn't engage in it myself personally. I don't like it. Especially with the experiences that I've had with spell work and the things that have been done to me and the things people have wished upon me. It puts a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to it. And it's not because like people have spiritual gifts, and I think spirituality is very real, and I have an altar in my house, etc. But it's like you wake up in the morning and you want someone's life to be done. You provoke people, like you just start your day attacking people for money, and I don't agree with it. Not to say that I don't believe in prayer and like all of spiritual work. It's not that I don't believe in that, but for me, I feel like that sort of thing is for protection. I have a weird place with it. I just would recommend everybody can do what they want to do. I would recommend not playing in dirty work. That's just how I feel about it. The people who do it do not believe in karma. A lot of them don't believe in God. They don't believe in like a highest God or anything like that. So, but it's not for me. It is what it is. I don't want to live my life like that. Especially if you're in a situation now. Self-preservation and taking care of yourself and staying alive, yeah, take care of yourself for sure. But just waking up unprovoked or taking money to do this kind of thing, or I don't believe in it. I just don't. It's me. I don't think people should do it, but I do think that people should be open-minded in the sense that because the spell work is real and you want to clear stuff off of you, you should be open-minded to remedies that are out. You can't go to the doctor for the kind of things that are happening to you. So you should definitely consider some spiritual stuff for that, for sure. Some spiritual remedies. I give a ton on my page as well. What else can I say about it? Spiritually cleanse yourself. Get this horrible stuff off of you, out of you, however you see it. Move on with your life and get to a point where whenever things are coming towards you, you can feel it, you can sense it, and you can get it out of your way. Anybody who's truly been a TI knows that spell work is real. You know that witches are real, witchcraft is real. You know that it's real. And now that you know it's real, you know you got to do something about it. And you know it's real for a reason. It's not like it was shielded. It's not like things were happening to you and you didn't know it was spell work like back in the past. Now that you've had spell work happen to you, you can look back in your past and you can be like, wait, this has been happening for a while. I just didn't know it was spell work. Now that you're in this place here with this situation and you know what's happening, your eyes were open to it for a reason. It means this is the life you're gonna live. You're gonna live a life where spell work is gonna be obvious to you. It might not be to the people around you. The people around you may not believe in the things that you believe in, but life is very spiritual. I find spiritual meaning in a lot of things. My spiritual walk, sometimes in some facets, it's very slow. I take my time. I used to get freaked out a lot easier before than I do now. But now I'm a little bit more comfortable. Not even just with like exploring these things, but I'm more comfortable with also like being open to it, trying new things, experimenting with new things, etc. But I'm still very cautious, to be honest with you. I want to understand what I'm doing. I always have this feeling like something is gonna come back to me and I'm gonna pay karma for it. So I want to be conscious of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. That is just me. That is just my spiritual walk. That leads me to a point. So I was watching this thing today. I was watching this thing yesterday, this one particular guy. And he was talking about the mother energy that I believe in. And, I was like in full on tears because everything he was saying was so true. He's very loving. And I believe some people there are closer to God. And maybe those are the people that people describe as angels. I definitely feel like some people are definitely closer to God than others. So he's one that I know, like he's closer to God. And you meet people like that all the time. Like they're just so sweet. They're so loving. I remember when I was in that phase of my life where I was extremely sweet, I was extremely loving, I would avoid drama or whatever. Like God would never allow me to be in these kind of situations that I'm in now, because it was like I'd be rescued from that immediately. I wouldn't stay in that situation. Even if I wanted to, God would shut it down. It would be done. So that's why I knew that me being in this situation was something that God actually wanted. And secondly, because I wasn't being taken out of it. So I remember when I was like him, having opinions like he has, because I saw a video of him today, and he was very upset. And it's because this mother energy appears in the form of a skeleton, and she looks like a grim reaper, and she does have a scythe in, you know, some depictions of her. And so I understand. So I don't know what he saw, but it was like this video of like basically saying that, you know, she is not your guard dog, you shouldn't threaten people, whatever. And of course he's not making this video consciously towards me. Who knows, maybe I didn't think so. But I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, have I done that? And probably. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever like threatened anybody to like take their life. I definitely have threatened people on here though. When I was in my stage of like going through a lot, I've definitely told people to leave me alone. And that's what he was talking about. He was like, you shouldn't threaten people to like not take action against you because you're gonna send your ancestors. What? That's not how spell work works. Nobody announces spell work. Nobody says, if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna send spell work. People just do spell work. They hide their hands when they do spell. In fact, it's the people that you don't think do spell work that do spell work. It's like people that look like your doctor and your mailman, they look normal, like they do spell work. That's the point. You're supposed to look unsuspecting. You think the girls that walk around with that aesthetic, that like I look witchy aesthetic, like that's like Harry Potter. Like those people, they want attention. They like, witch doctors look normal. Like they look like normal people. So, and I've been saying this from day one, and I know that this is, you know, so today I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I was like, wait, is this something that I did? And I do understand his perspective, which was very normal, which was a perspective that I would have myself, because this energy is very misunderstood. People don't understand this is a loving, protective, nurturing energy. This is an energy of creation. Because people don't understand that, yes, it does give it a bad rep and a bad, you know, it's like you say, I connect to the Grim Reaper. Like if you were to say that, people would be like, what? Like it would sound crazy, but this is not how this energy feels. It is for lack of interaction. It's for lack of knowing. In the beginning, he said even in his experience that in the beginning he was very nervous of this energy. I was too, like not very nervous, I'm not gonna lie. It felt very familiar to me, and it was just way too loving for me to ever be like, I don't think. I, in the beginning, maybe once or twice had like a doubt here, a doubt there, but for the most part, it was like because of the way that I was introduced to this energy, it's like, I didn't second guess it. But I can understand why he felt that way, and it kind of made me down for the day. And then I thought about it again, and I was like, no, I feel like I did what I was supposed to do. Telling people to leave me alone, or I'm gonna pray about it, it gives you an option. If you don't, it's conscious. It's like, how else are you supposed to defend yourself? How many times are you supposed to tell people to leave you alone? People are gang stalking you. And I just thought, you know what, he's a sweet person. He's a sweet person, and he's really coming from a well-meaning place. And I understand the place that he's coming from, because I would have came from that place as well. You get very defensive of this energy because this energy is already, like he said, associated with like seedy characters who have, with their association, just given her a bad reputation. It is her time to be recognized on a larger scale outside of just that one culture, globally to different people. It is her time to be seen as who she really is. And so I get that, but I also get that he definitely does not understand what gang stalking is. I don't think most people understand what gang stalking is until they've been gang stalked. You can't, I've tried so hard to explain what gang stalking is. They can only understand the things that are happening. I was hacked, I'm followed, etc. They understand that. Do they understand the panic? Do they understand the anxiety? Do they understand the feeling that your life is over? Do they understand these things? Do they understand? They cannot. Only other TIs can understand what you're feeling with no words. I look at a 15-second video of a TI. They make a YouTube video 15 seconds and they say one or two things, and I overstand the entire mood of their life. I get it. I know. It doesn't even need words because you've been through it. You know. So it's like, a part of me has given up on trying to explain to people. Not a part of me. I definitely have given up on trying to explain to people. People don't even have... Trying to explain gang stalking is like trying to explain a zombie apocalypse. That's the feeling that it has in your heart. It's a zombie apocalypse of your life. But now the zombie apocalypse is only happening to you, and nobody else around you wants to acknowledge it or see it, or they can't connect it. How can you explain a zombie apocalypse? How can you explain to people that people outside are undead and they're chasing you to eat you, to, you know, kill you? They're gonna be like, that's not possible. When people are how do you mean dead people are walking? Duh, what do you mean spell work? What do you mean da da da? Like, that's how they're gonna behave, because they don't get it. So it's like, I'm not gonna explain it. A ton of people in my life, in my city, in my community got gang stalked as a result of me being gang stalked, because I told them and they wouldn't listen. I was like, listen, something really weird is happening here. And they wouldn't listen. Ton of people got gang stalked. And the next time I saw them, I knew they were being gang stalked. I could tell. One thing gang stalkers like is for you to look like you're being gang stalked. You're supposed to look unwell. So you coming out and looking good and looking fresh and looking taken care of. Let me tell you, I tried to upload videos and like the videos won't upload because I look too nice in the video. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, they don't want you to look good. They don't want you to look rested. They don't want you to look like you're improving or things are getting better for you, because then they lose money that way. Then it definitely looks like somebody needs a refund, because it's like, what am I paying for? This person's even getting better. So yeah, I'm not explaining this anymore. I'm not convincing anybody anymore. I'm just leaving. I want to go back to the land of the living, and I want to leave this nightmare, and that's it. So I'm gonna leave it here. To anyone watching, I wish you a beautiful life, a beautiful future. I wish you hope. I wish you a lot of peace, because that is where it starts from. It starts from a peaceful place in your heart. And I wish you to not have enough energy to continue playing into this, to not have enough energy to continue doing this, to heal. Like from here, start the healing from inside of you. Start working through these issues. Healing feels terrible when these horrible feelings are coming out. I call it purging. When you cry, when you get upset, when you lash out, I call it purging. You're gonna have to do that. Let the hate out of you, because some of us have unexpressed hate. Just because you haven't expressed it does not mean it's not there. Take it from me. Let it out. Cry it out. Punch the air, scream, whatever it takes. Just purge it, get it out of you. You will feel lighter. You will literally feel lighter. You will sleep better. You sleep the best after you cry. I'm not a huge crier. I don't cry often, but sometimes it's necessary, and I let it happen. And just let all of this out, because this has been an injustice. This is like unspeakable. Just let it out. And then when it's all done, just don't have the energy for it. Just let it be and start your winning streak. Your winning streak is not because gang stalk is not happening. It's not because people are not being annoying. It's just because you're not reacting. You just don't care. Start your winning streak today. And if you go one day and you're successful, amazing. And then the next day you fail and you lose it, that's okay. You start again. And you get to half a day and then you fail, that's okay. You start again. until you can get to 2 days, and that's your new metric, is 2 days. And now that you got 2 days, you really don't want to stop. Just get it to 3. And you really don't want to stop at 3. Just get it to 4. Get it to 5. By the 10th day, by the 7th day, at least, like a week in, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel better. It's like you're just not going to feel like the same person anymore. And then if you can get to 7 days without being pissed off by a single thing that's happening, the things are happening. I'm just not even recording them anymore. If I can go back in my memory bank, I could think of 3 things that I could tell you that you'd be like, what the hell? And there were 3 things that actually had them written down that I wanted to talk about. Oh, these tips and whatever. And every time I'd forget about them. I wouldn't read them. I would read them and then not come back to them, simply because it's like we're leaving. The train is leaving the station. As far as that's concerned, that's done. But I'm on my streak. I'm on my winning streak that feels natural because it's been a couple of weeks. And I feel like you can see it in my work. You can see it in me when I'm walking around. You can see it in how I live my life. It's like I live in a peaceful house because I don't let toxic energy stay in here. You know, on and on and on and on. I do the things that I have to do. And then if I can't do something, then it's not the end of the world like it used to be before, because before I was gang stalked, I like to micromanage and control my life. I like to have a tight control on my life. This is going to happen at this time. This is going to work like this. This is da, 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 da. Now I'm just like, hey, it probably wasn't meant to be. And I used to look at people like that as irresponsible. I'm like, what? You're making excuses. Get it done. Now I'm like, no, it's not meant to be. And I could be praying right now. I could be meditating. I could be doing something else. I'm not fighting with this today. We'll try again another day. This is how I look at things. This is how I'm moving forward with things. I hope whoever is still on this channel, whoever is watching with me, this is where the messaging is going. We are not collecting any more scores of what has happened, what happened yesterday, what happened the day. Like, we don't care anymore, please. Like, we're tired. I've been saying this for so long. Like, we're tired. We're so tired of this. Let's just leave it. Just let them gang stalk a shadow, if that's what it is. Like, leave people in the past. These people are not who you think they are anymore. Not hate them, not like nothing, just not personal. Just, you're moving on now. New everything. Just leave it alone. It is what it is. Let God handle it. Let go of the pain that people caused you. Cut your losses. Don't keep holding on to this, because there's no resolution. Just let it go. Like, some things you have to forgive, some things you have to heal, and definitely some things you'll be like, who cares? Not to be mean, but just be like, who cares? It was Billy. Shit. Like that. You gotta have some people that are like that. You're not gonna go down the healing process with every single person. Please, this is a lot of effort. Healing is for like my mother, my son, my child, my whatever. Healing is not for like, Kate, I'm West Indian. We don't put high value on friendships the way other cultures might. I don't know how to explain. Maybe it's just my country is very small. You can't escape people. My island is very small. We just don't. It's like it's a friend. Get another friend. That's how they look at it. So for me, it's like I'm not healing from betrayals in friendships. Like, it might piss me off. I might get upset. Maybe it might be bad. I might cry from it one time, rare. But then it's done. What is this thing of like, we're going back and forth and, oh, but it was my best friend. Okay, all right, fine. Keep the best friend. But like, you can't be rolling around in sorrow for everyone when they only did it to you because they orchestrated that betrayal because they wanted it to hurt. That's the thing. All of them cannot hurt. Some of them will hurt and some of them will not. Some of them, it's like, just for me in my situation, some of them, it's like, I always knew you were like that. I'm not really surprised. I knew you were like that. And some of them, it's like, who cares? Seriously, who cares? It's because there's so many betrayals that pile up, then you're like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But honest, and the other thing too is that it's so many betrayals, and it's happening all at the same time in a short space of time. So it's like your whole life is being cleaned out all at the same time. But think about if this were to be stretched over 10 years or 20 years, you had to get rid of them yourself, and you didn't. Being very honest with you, I had to get rid of these people myself, and I didn't do it. I knew these people were like that. The best example I could give is with my dad. I got indication from the beginning of this cycle that I should get, like, we should drift. It's the truth. I know it sounds weird, but I knew. I just kept holding on and holding on. So by the time it happened, it was like, oh, this was supposed to happen. And sometimes I'm like, why would he do that? Whatever. But it's like, he would do that because you didn't let go. You knew you were supposed to let go. So if you had let go, it wouldn't have time to happen. I had to let go of all of these situations. I knew in the back of my mind, like, this person's not right. That person's a liar. That person's doesn't really like me. That person's jealous of me. That I knew it. So now everything is getting cleaned out. Like, they're doing you a favor. They really are. I'm not saying that for anybody to feel better. The gang stalkers are doing you a favor. They're giving you a new life. The thing is, you got to walk into the new life. That's the thing. You got to consciously walk in. You can't just stay trapped back there with them. You got to walk through those doors. I am definitely walking through. I'm running to those doors. I'm speeding to the new doors. Get me out of here immediately. They're like, wait, but you forgot your handbag. No, it's your handbag now. Goodbye. Like, you can't trick me anymore. I don't care. I don't want anything that they have back there. I don't want anything. Right now, they're so desperate for me to, like, reopen my business back in the camp of demonic, satanic Luciferians. No. What? I am out of here. Put me on a rocket ship. Send me to Mars. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm literally at a point where if one of these, like Elon Musk or one of these people are like, does somebody want to, like, I used to think people like that are crazy. Like, does someone want to volunteer to go to space? I'm like, why? Now I'm like, you know what? Human beings are not, like, I don't know. We're not missing that much. We've seen this movie over and over. This is how people are. And that's the thing about having new people. It's like, I hope for the best, but I definitely would not be shocked with whatever I see. Anything that I see out of people, I'm just like, seen this movie before. Catch you later. Have a great day. Like, I'm not sitting around with people to find out what kind of person you are, what you're into. No. I smell crazy, and I've smelled crazy before. I smell crazy. I'm out of there. I just don't. I don't want to do this life lesson with you. I can learn the lesson from somebody else learning it outside, like a school. Like, I don't need to myself go crash a car to know what crashes are about. I'm tired. So these are my lessons. These are things that I should have known early on in my life. Did I learn them? No. Because I'm like, you guys, we're all the same. We're in the same boat. You saw somebody didn't like you, you kept them around. You saw somebody was jealous, you kept them around. You saw somebody was hateful, you kept them around, all to try to, like, be this and fit in and whatever. Now look what it got you. They all turned on you like snakes at the same time. It's like, were they always like this? Yes. Were they always capable of this? Yes. Was I the only person who didn't see it? Probably yes. So these people are okay with themselves. So me, I'm just never gonna need to learn that lesson again. Done. And that's why moving forward, it's like, you know, now that you're gang stalked, imagine if they try gang stalking you again in the future and you start seeing the little signs. You're like, oh, you think we're doing a repeat of this? You're funny. You're hilarious. No, not. So it's like, in a way, not in a way, I really do believe that I was meant to go through this. I think it was inescapable. I think God held it back until I was ready. I could see the signs around me from before. So now that I'm all the way here, I'm like, now was my time. I dealt with it. I think I did a fantastic job. Okay, I did an amazing job of being gracefully gang stalked, of going through it the best that I could. And I healed on lives, on YouTube, being annoyed as hell a lot of the times, being pissed off as hell a lot of the time. I did what I was supposed to, and it's like, now I'm done. I'm just done. I think it looks different for people to be done. Maybe people leave the country, maybe people do all of this extra stuff. I'm not doing any of that. I'm gonna be done right here. Right here. I expect people to be wherever I go. And you know what? I imagine myself to be a celebrity. I'm being so serious. I'm not even joking about that. I definitely, that's how they make me feel. Like, they want me to feel like that. Cause why do I have so much attention? I'm not even paying anybody. It's like, that's how I feel when I go somewhere. I expect people to be there. So it's like, you go somewhere and people are not there. You're like, what is going on? Or if people aren't sending, when people stop sending all the spell work, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it's just weird. It's like they put all this effort, and I can only imagine how exhausting that must have been. But now I literally, when things happen, I'm like, well, that's just what it comes with being me. That's just the place that I've come to with it. I'm just like, this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like being myself. So maybe I'm important. Can you imagine what Princess Diana went through? Can you imagine what actual famous people with a lot of money are going through? They actually have money. They have millions to rob. Hundreds of millions. What are they going through? These people are living horrible lives. This is crazy. How do they put on a smile? How do they even have the energy to do their makeup? They probably have some crazy situation when they're off camera. Like 10 of them every day. What is the president going through? What are other people going through in silence? Cause look at me, I'm being gang stalked. I'm struggling. So it's like, what are people going through? These people probably have so many problems, and here we are, and we're crying because people are following us everywhere, and they're hacking us, and they're taking our picture, and they're bullying us, and they're doing all of this stuff. And people are not having a good time. We could pick out any number of celebrities right now that are not having a good time, that still have to get up every day and do their job, still get up every day and keep pushing forward, still get up every day and go make money and find a way. That's how I see myself. I still have to get up every day and do what it is that I have to do. No matter how hopeless it might seem to somebody else, or what, like, this is the fight. I gotta find a way. I gotta continue doing what I gotta do, because this is what I have to do. This is the same thing for you. You gotta do what you gotta do. You don't have millions of dollars worth of assets to save or to lose, or a public image. Look at J-Lo just got married the other day. It looks like this guy's doing it again. And she had to cancel her tour, and this and that. Could you imagine waking up in the morning, still putting a smile on your face, getting dressed and doing your makeup? That takes a lot. So it's like, we're human beings, and like, we're going through life, and this is just life, and life happens. It is what it is. So I'm really gonna leave it here now. Guys, please like the live. It helps my channel grow. It helps me get more information out there. Like, share, subscribe. I hope I'm bringing hope and peace to somebody out there. Check out all the tips on the channel. Check out all my playlists. I try to like organize it with playlists and whatnot. Check my videos out. And please walk away from this chaos. Stop giving it your energy. Stop participating in it. Don't show up. when it's your turn to make a move, make no moves on that board. Just sit there. If your body has to be there, just sit there and let no more moves be made, and let them make all the moves so that they're playing themselves, and that'll be that. I promise you, this is where the content is going from now, because I'm no longer gonna participate in fear mongering with gang stalking. I'm just gonna let people know that we don't have to be here anymore. So I just want you to know that God loves you, which I say at the end of every video, and I really, 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 really mean that. You don't even understand how much God loves you. I didn't myself, and I probably never will, fully, but I do know that God does love me for me to have gotten this far with where I am. So I really do mean that. God loves you. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing night. Good night.